This weekend, the clock ticks over to 100 days to go until the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. To mark the milestone, Fox Sports news reporter Luke Doherty sat down with Socceroos coach Graham Arnold. In part one of our interview, Arnold opens up on the moments that almost made him walk away during what was a rocky road to qualification.
Graham, thanks very much for your time. Much appreciated. That chaos of that game against Peru and all the scenes that came along with it, has it sunk in yet, and can you barely believe the way it all transpired?
It's still something that obviously is fresh in my mind, and very proud of the achievement the boys and the commitment the boys showed, and obviously it was a very special night.
How soon after did your thoughts initially turn to, okay, we've made it now, we actually have to go and do this thing, and players and schedules and logistics?
Yeah, look, well, coming back home to Australia, obviously there was a lot of adulation around, and very grateful for that with the fans and everything. And but I was pretty worn out, to be honest. I needed a break. I went away for 10 days to have that break, and now in that time, we've started the planning. We were pretty much the second last team to qualify, so we had to get onto that straight away. And everything's heading in the right direction with that.
After the losses to Japan and Saudi Arabia, everyone seemed to have an opinion on you and your coaching tenure. After the Peru game, all's well, you're a genius again. Was it satisfying that you were able to weather that storm and come through and show them that you were the right man for the job?
That doesn't bother me at all, Luke. The only thing that I always am concerned about is the players and helping them fulfil their dreams and achievements, because they're the ones I'm working with and working for. And of course the fans and people are important, but at the same time, they don't understand half of what the boys went through, half of what we went through. Thankfully the organisation did understand that, and the Japan game, I had COVID, and I turned up the day of the game. I didn't do any coaching at all, so they're all experiences in the past. But the most important thing was to be there to support the boys, help the boys achieve their goals, and it was a very satisfying night at the end of the day against Peru.
Well, you just touched on it there. I mean, it's an extraordinary road this team has taken to the World Cup. It's taken in a pandemic, a 1 in 100 year event. It's taken in periods of isolation. It's taken in losing players at the last minute. Give us an insight into, as well personally, what you had to go through to get this team. And I know you don't want to put the focus on yourself, but what you personally had to do to ensure this team got there in one piece is incredible.
Have you got half hour?
We got as much time as you want.
No, look, it's at the time when no one could travel internationally, we had to travel internationally. And, at the airport, stuck in airports, the PCR testing, I probably had those things shoved up my nose about 120 times in 1 year. I was stuck away for 7 months and isolated on my own, because there was only one way to get this job done, and that was to stay away from Australia. Because I met the government and I went to them and they were honest and truthful to me and said, there's no way you're playing these games in Australia. If I can look at the positives on that side of COVID, is what it did do is in the campaign we had to use 45 players to get through it. We've created more depth for the team, and at the same time then the players were locked down. Every hotel we're in, even here in Australia, we were locked down, but the away team wasn't. And and the boys had to isolate and socialise in a social room on the floor they were on, which brought the camaraderie together, mateship stronger, and they're really like brothers now. And I look back and reflect on that, and I do believe it was probably the greatest achievement the Socceroos have ever made. And that's no disrespect to the other past qualifying campaigns, but this one was extremely tough. From September to June, we played 12 World Cup qualifiers. And it's normally a 2-year program that got locked into one.
It was incredibly rewarding. You also had tough decisions to make along the way. In like you mentioned, they're trying, do I come home, do I not? And staying away, those decisions, while you're also trying to think of the bigger picture, must have been incredibly tough too.
Yeah, look, tough on the family, tough on the wife, to be honest. And if I had done it the way of come and go, I would have been in quarantine for 94 days in 6 months, 7 months, and there was no way. I'm a type of person that really struggles with one lot of 14 days, let alone 94. So there was only one way I could do it, otherwise I would have had to resign and move on.
Was there ever a point during this crazy road where you thought, I don't know if it's going to happen?
I'll be honest, Luke, the Japan game and the COVID lockdown and that, there was a time there I thought I've had enough. That really knocked me about, getting COVID for the second time in 7 weeks, and testing positive the first time, and then 2 negatives, PCR negatives the day after, and still being locked down by the government for 7 days, quarantining, and I thought, I can't do this anymore. But once I got through that, and once I got back into camp and I was there with the boys and the staff, and we've got this special bond. They're like my sons, the players, and I just couldn't walk out on them, and I just wanted to be there for them.